at dapat isunod agad ang paglilitis ng Senado. The Filipino translation for forthwith is agad, which conveys immediacy. The synonyms of this Filipino word include madali, bigla, dagli, o karakaraka.
So pag sinabi mong gumalaw ang Senado, ibig sabihin po either walang nag-object or may botohan at yung majority masusunod. I cannot say right now like Senator Villanueva that I'm 100% in agreement with Senator Coco and Senator Risa.
Ito na nga, Alan Cayetano at Coco Pimentel nagkainitan matapos pagdebatihan ang ibig sabihin sa salitang forthwith. Pero bago ang lahat, maaari kayong mag-subscribe para maging updated sa mga issue at bagong mga balita. Umangal nga si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano sa pagkakaintindi ni Coco Pimentel sa salitang forthwith na nabanggit sa usapin batay sa impeachment trial ni VP Sara. Cayetano at Coco nagkadibatehan. Narito ang buong detalye.
I rise today on a question of privilege. That's why I'm asking for the understanding of our colleagues that their explanation.
I yield, Mr. President, to the Minority Leader.
Thank you. May be heard later, Mr. President. Under Section 107.
The gentleman may proceed.
Under Section 107 of the Rules of the Senate. Section 107. Questions of privilege are those affecting the rights, privileges, reputation, conduct, decorum, and dignity of the Senate or of its members, as well as the integrity of its proceedings. Because of the impeachment case against the Vice President, the Senate itself is now on trial. The reputation and dignity of this institution we hold so dear, painstakingly built up by the many senators who have served before us, together with our own efforts, are now being attacked online and in the real world out there. Outside our own gates this morning, there was a demonstration involving a substantial number of our constituents. The root cause of this is the apprehension of our people, based on recent pronouncements and developments, that there will be no impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte. Respected academic institutions and other organizations have spoken with one voice. We call on the Senate of the Philippines to comply with its constitutional duty to forthwith proceed with the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. These are the UP College of Law Faculty, the Philippine Political Science Association, the San Beda University Graduate School of Law, the Ateneo School of Government, De La Salle University, University of Santo Tomas, and Adamson University, among others. I am submitting copies of their statements to the Secretariat to form part of the records of the Senate. The people have also taken to Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and other social media platforms to voice their concerns and frustrations. Across these channels, the sentiment is clear and growing. Nagkaroon ng agam-agam ang taong bayan. Bakit parang pinapatay na ang impeachment proceedings? This question reflects a deep unease among our citizens, a growing fear that the impeachment process is being deliberately stalled or even quietly ended. There is confusion as well as distrust at a time when our constitutional duty demands decisive and quick action and not unnecessary delays and endless debate on whether our duty is optional, captured by the phrase, if at all. What is that constitutional duty which I have just mentioned? It is a mandate or directive addressed to the Senate and is found in Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 4 of the 1987 Constitution. And I will read it. In case the verified complaint or resolution of impeachment is filed by at least one-third of all the members of the House of Representatives, the same shall constitute the articles of impeachment, and trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Since the time we received the articles of impeachment from the House of Representatives on February 5, 2025, I have been very vocal that trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. I wrote the Senate President a letter dated February 14, 2025, expressing the following ideas, and I quote from the said letter. According to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, forthwith means without any delay or without interval of time. Its synonyms include immediately, instantaneously, instantly, presently, promptly, right away, right now, straight off, and straight away, among others. Considering that the 1987 Constitution was promulgated in both English and Filipino, we must examine its official Filipino translation. Kung ang pinanumpaang sakdal o resolusyon sa impeachment ay iniharap ng isang katlo man lamang ng lahat ng mga kagawad ng kapulungan, iyon ay dapat bumuo sa Articles of Impeachment at dapat isunod agad ang paglilitis ng Senado. The Filipino translation for forthwith is agad, which conveys immediacy. The synonyms of this Filipino word include madali, bigla, dagli, o kara-karaka, which denote urgency or promptness. The above elaboration affirms that it is the Senate's duty to act on the impeachment case of Vice President Sara Duterte without any delay or without interval of time. I repeat that this is the Senate's duty. I am submitting a copy of my letter dated February 14, 2025 to the Senate Secretariat to form part of the records of the Senate. In spite of all of my efforts, member of the minority na nga ako, I am also being hit by all these attacks against the Senate. How much more kayo pong nasa majority? We should all be concerned about what is happening. One writer wrote, all of the country's senators, yes, all of them, as embodiments of the Senate, are failing the Filipino people. Hence, I have every right to stand up to express my question of privilege as I worry about our beloved institution's reputation, integrity, dignity, and even our place in Philippine history. It is now June 9, 2025, or more than 4 months since the filing of the articles of impeachment, and the Senate has not yet started the trial. Tama lang po na mainip ang taong bayan kung kailan ba natin gagampanan ang constitutional duty natin. Indeed, there is a reason for the no trial fears of our countrymen. To remind us, the articles of impeachment transmitted by the House of Representatives on February 5, 2025 read as follows. Article 1. Respondent betrayed the public trust, committed culpable violations of the Constitution, and or committed high crimes in contracting an assassin and plotting to murder or assassinate the incumbent president, the First Lady, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, as publicly admitted by her in a live broadcast. Article 2. Respondent betrayed the public trust and or committed graft and corruption in her misuse and malversation of confidential funds appropriated to the office of the Vice President, open and close parenthesis, OVP, and the Department of Education, open and close parenthesis, DepEd. Article 3, respondent betrayed the public trust and or committed bribery and or other acts of graft and corruption in violation of Republic Act number 3019. Article 4, respondent committed culpable violations of the Constitution and or betrayal of public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all her properties and interest in properties in her statement of assets and net worth, open and close parenthesis, SAL-N, in violation of Section 17, Article 11 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Article 5. Respondent committed other high crimes, including the high crime of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Article 6. Respondent, by herself and or in concert with others, committed acts of destabilization constituting at least a betrayal of public trust and or culpable violations of the Constitution and even the high crimes of sedition and insurrection. Article 7. The totality of respondents' conduct as Vice President, including her commission of the foregoing acts, clearly display conduct constituting a betrayal of public trust, culpable violations of the 1987 Constitution, and graft and corruption. These allegations are serious. They demand nothing less than a prompt and faithful discharge of our constitutional duties. Actually, all matters of impeachment are serious and important. Just look at the grounds provided by the Constitution. Culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, other high crimes, and betrayal of public trust. The Senate President refused to convene the Senate as the impeachment court from February to May 2025 because he believes that the Senate could not act on the articles of impeachment while it was not in legislative session. We have an honest difference of opinion on this matter. For the record, I believe that the Senate has a separate existence as the impeachment court from the Senate, which is a part of the legislative department. The Senate as the impeachment court is governed by Article 11 of the 1987 Constitution. The Senate as a part of the legislative department is governed by Article 6. In short, legislative functions of the Senate are found in Article 6. The other functions of the Senate found outside of Article 6 of the Constitution are therefore what we can call the Senate's non-legislative functions. This conclusion is bolstered by the case of Pimentel Jr. versus Joint Committee of Congress, which involved the function of the Senate as part of the National Board of Canvassers for President and Vice President, a function which is found in Article 7 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court ruled in this case that the legislative functions of the 12th Congress may have come to a close upon the final adjournment of its regular sessions on June 11, 2004, but this does not affect its non-legislative functions. What is more important to me is the entry in the judgment which states as follows. In sum, despite the adjournment sine die of Congress, there is no legal impediment to the Joint Committee completing the tasks assigned to it and transmitting its report for the approval of the joint public session of both houses of Congress, which may reconvene without need of call by the President to a special session. I want to focus on the phrase, without need of call. There shall be no need of a call because the Constitution itself recognizes Congress's existence as the National Board of Canvassers for the presidential and vice presidential elections and mandates the holding of a joint public session. So in short, the source of the existence of the body and the authority and power to carry out its function and duty is the Constitution itself. It is therefore undeniable that the Senate has duties and functions that are not legislative in nature. As an additional argument, still on this honest difference of opinion, let us look at Article 6, Section 19 of the Constitution. Meron naman yung copy ng rules natin dyan ng Constitution. This section talks about two bodies of which Congress, including the Senate, is a member of: the electoral tribunals and the Commission on Appointments. There is a sentence here in that section that the Commission on Appointments shall meet only while the Congress is in session. Meaning to say that if the sentence were not in the Constitution, then the Commission on Appointments can meet even while the Congress is not in session. The electoral tribunals can therefore meet even when the Congress is not in session because there is no such sentence applicable to the electoral tribunals. Unlike the provisions concerning the Commission on Appointments, there is no similar constitutional limitation found in Article 11 on when the Senate as the impeachment court can convene, meet, or hold sessions in order to perform its functions. Ulitin ko, wala pong sinasabi na ang Senado as the impeachment court shall meet only while the Congress is in session. Wala. Wala po yan. Clearly, therefore, the Senate as the impeachment court could have proceeded with the trial of the articles of impeachment even if the Senate as a legislative body was not in session. But that period of time from February to May 2025 is lost time already. like water which has passed under a bridge. To remedy the situation, let us focus on the here and now. Per the proposed calendar of the impeachment trial, attached as Annex A to the letter of the Senate President addressed to all senators dated February 24, 2025, we were supposed to have allowed the panel of prosecutors to present the articles of impeachment on June 2, 2025 at 3 p.m. and to have convened the Senate as the impeachment court on June 3 at 9 a.m. I am also submitting a copy of the letter of the Senate President dated February 24, 2025 with its Annex A to the Secretariat to form a part of the records of the Senate. It is stated in the said Annex A that the Senate hopes to adhere to the foregoing schedule, and considering that both the prosecution and defense will have ample time to prepare for the proceedings, will not tolerate any dilatory motion or pleading. Before June 2 arrived, on May 29, the Senate President vacated this proposed calendar of the impeachment court and transferred the presentation of the articles of impeachment by the panel of prosecutors to June 11, 2025, which is a critical date because that happens to be the last day of the legislative session of the Senate per our existing legislative calendar. Last Monday, June 2, June 2, 2025, when I asked the Senate President before the plenary on the American practice in impeachment proceedings regarding the appearance of the prosecutors from the House of Representatives, the Senate President answered me with, and I quote, "That in turn will now trigger, if at all, the convening of the impeachment court, where the regular processes would now be followed." Diyan po kami natakot, diyan sa qualifier na if at all. That inserted qualifier casts doubt on whether the Senate leadership will follow what is otherwise a clear constitutional command. It suggests that even after the articles of impeachment have been read and presented, the convening of the impeachment court might still be discretionary or optional. This use of the if at all phrase has not escaped the notice of our citizens. The situation is exacerbated by the pronouncement of the Senate President that, in the end, Senate plenary is supreme. Add to this the circulation of a resolution, although admittedly a draft, declaring the impeachment case de facto dismissed. Can we therefore blame law professors, lawyers groups, civil society groups, known legal personalities, and even ordinary citizens for raising the alarm of a no-trial scenario? So how do we and can we remedy the situation we are right now? The remedy is simple. As senators, we have taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Let us follow what the Constitution says, most especially those provisions which are directed at the Senate. Sabi ng Konstitusyon, trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. There is no if, no unless, no when convenient. Indeed, the Senate has a constitutional duty to hold the trial of an impeachment complaint, especially when it has been filed by at least one-third of all the members of the House of Representatives, like in this case against the Vice President. Trial is the most fair course of action because the people need to know if their representatives acted properly and justly by hearing the evidence used by them in filing the impeachment case. And in the name of due process, we need to give the impeached officer the chance to defend himself or herself and clear his or her name. Klaruhin ko na ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay kung ano ang constitutional duty ng Senado, hindi kung guilty or not guilty na ba ang impeached officer. Saka na ang hatol pagkatapos na ng trial. Ang importante ay mag-umpisa na ang trial proceedings kasi yan ang utos ng ating konstitusyon. Mr. President, my dear colleagues, any further delay not only undermines the explicit mandate of the Constitution and our rules, it risks eroding public trust in the Senate's capacity and capability to uphold the accountability of public officers and the rule of law. Not only do many believe that the Senate is heading to a no-trial scenario, worse, many have opined that simply by inaction or by merely refusing to convene as the impeachment court, the Senate seems to believe that it can effectively dismiss or defeat an impeachment complaint duly filed and transmitted by the House of Representatives. Under Rule 10 of the Senate's Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trials, at the hour of the day appointed for the trial of an impeachment, the legislative business of the Senate, if there be any, shall be suspended so that the business of the trial can proceed. So in the light of all of this, and in accordance with our solemn duty under the Constitution, I most respectfully move, number one, that our legislative business be suspended. Number two, that we already convene as the impeachment court at this very moment. Number three, that the Senate President immediately take his oath as presiding officer of the impeachment court. Number four, that thereafter, the Senate President/presiding officer administer the oath or affirmation to all the members of the Senate now present. Number five, that the impeachment court then call the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte and come up with a calendar for the trial thereof. Number six, that tomorrow, June 10, 2025, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the impeachment court call the impeachment case for the presentation and reading of the articles of impeachment by the panel of prosecutors of the House of Representatives. And number seven, that thereafter, the writ of summons be issued to the impeached officer. So I so move, Mr. President.
Senator, what is the pleasure of the Honorable Cayetano?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I just have to be clarified on some points, and this is in relation, of course, to the Minority Leader, the Deputy Minority Leader, and to our former Majority Leader. So if I may proceed and just lay out the basis for my inquiry.
The gentleman may proceed.
Well, first let me start out by saying I pray for wisdom for all of us, and I ask everyone to continue to pray for wisdom for us. I also like to state before I say my inquiry, it's unfair to just blame the Senate President. 23 naman tayong senador conscious naman tayo lahat nung February 5. Nandito naman tayo, pwede naman tayo mag-object ng, nung nag-adjourn, nung final yan. So, as the minority leader said, nandyan na yan, wag na natin tignan yung nakalipas, forward na tayo, no? Second, I just want to comment dun sa mga law schools. I appreciate it, and I'm happy they're very active, and I'm happy that they have statements. But may I advise them also to be consistent? Kasi si Congressman Cardema nag-file ng impeachment laban sa Pangulo. Hindi tinanggap sa House Wala naman ako narinig na mga sinasabi na dapat ang konstitusyon masunod at dapat tinanggap ng House yan. So, of course, hindi naman trabaho ng mga law schools na in each and every impeachment case magsalita. Pero in a highly charged environment. Can you imagine, Mr. President, during the campaign, sa mismong media interviews ng top news channels natin, tatanungin yung kandidato, pag kayo nanalo, are you for or against the impeachment case? Klaro naman ang sagot dun Ang sagot dun, hindi kami pwede mag-comment kasi magiging judge kami. Pero hindi. Sinagot pa rin ng mga kandidato at tinanong pa rin ng media. Pero kung konstitusyon ang masusunod, ang sagot dun iisa lang, mag-o-oath kami, dapat neutral kami. Kaya lang eleksyon Kasi masama naman talaga timing ng pagka-file nito magpa-file ka during the the campaign. That's the reality there. Kaya nga sa US, pagka-jury system, pwede mo i-sequester yung jury. Papayag ba tayo nung February na i-sequester tayong 23? Na ikukulong tayo at hindi tayo makikinig sa kahit anong media at i-determine natin ito? Maybe may papayag sa atin, meron hindi. But wag na tayo magsisihan. So, I'll go to my question. So, maybe that's why Shakespeare said, if you want justice, first kill all the lawyers. Diba? Kasi nga, labanan ng mga abogado to. Pero, hindi ibig sabihin na wala silang mga personal na bias nila. Mahirap magsalita dito na insulto sa lahat ng Pilipino to. Ito ang gusto ng taong bayan. Ang daming lugar sa buong Pilipinas yung Duterte nanalo ang kampanya nila, wag ituloy yung impeachment So, sasabihin ko ba na yun ang will ng tao? Pero kung titingnan ko naman lahat ng comments ngayon sa Facebook, sa SOCMED, gusto naman ituloy. Pati si Vice President Sara, sabi niya, I want to be held accountable. So, sabihin ko, yan ang gusto ng taong bayan. Napakahirap po nung sitwasyon natin. That's why we need wisdom. But first question ko po, prejudicial question. Ano bang rules ang unang masusunod? Rules ng Senate o rules ng impeachment? Bakit to importante at bakit to prejudicial question? Tinitignan ko po kaninang umaga yung comment, allegedly, hindi ko sure, wala naman nakalagay doon na siguradong totoo yun, but meron pong comment ang defense team ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Correct me if I'm wrong, Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, my good friend, my brother, Senator Robin, kasi hindi ko alam kung official yon. To paraphrase, ang sabi nila, hindi magandang mag-comment sila, but they'd like to reiterate na tingin nila labag sa konstitusyon yung impeachment complaint na to dahil ito'y pang-apat at lumalabag to sa isang complaint sa isang taon. Okay. Kung yun ang stand nila, sino po ang hihimay sa issue na yan? Ang plenary ba under the Senate rules? Or yung impeachment court under the impeachment rules? Bakit ko po ito sinasabi? Kung may pinadalang bill ngayon yung House of Representatives, halimbawa dyan sa 200 pesos, at second reading pa lang halimbawa siya, pag ni-refer natin sa Committee on Rules natin yan, magbabay-cam na ba kagad tayo o sasabihin natin, sandali lang, second reading pa lang sila, kailangan mo ng third reading pa lang. Ang sinasabi sa akin ni Senator Villanueva ngayon, pinadala lahat ng records except for the bill that they pass. So we cannot act on the 200 peso minimum wage, additional sa minimum wage. But that's my point, Mr. President. Sino po magde-decide? Tayo po ba as senators o tayo as senator judges? Kung nilabag ang konstitusyon doon. And doon naman ako sumasang-ayon sa mga law schools. Let's proceed. Let's look at it. But yun na nga ang question. Yung complaint ba is firm, legal, according to Constitution, or may constitutional infirmity ito? My last question is just a question of logic. Nag-move yung ating minority leader na to convene na as a impeachment court. Yung ating deputy, sabi niya, hindi na kailangan magbotohan. Pag nag-move ka, may botohan. So, sino masusunod sa dalawa? Why do I say this? I'm saying it not because it's funny that one will move and then kailangang magbotohan and the other one will move na magbotohan. Kung matalo botohan, sabi niya, hindi kailangan ng botohan I say this for a simple practical reality. When you say the Senate, it is composed of 24 or in this case 23 senators. So pag sinabi mong gumalaw ang Senado, ibig sabihin po either walang nag-object or may botohan at yung majority masusunod. I cannot say right now like Senator Villanueva that I'm 100% in agreement with Senator Coco and Senator Risa. I can tell you I'm in agreement with certain things they've said. For example, Mr. President, it's our constitutional duty. Kailangan mag-proceed. We should have done it earlier. But again, I won't blame you. I won't blame them. I'll blame myself. I could have written you a letter. I could have said na February, mag-ano na tayo. But let me just explain that one point. Why didn't I write you a letter, Mr. President? Kasi pag Pangulo yung ini-impeach, every single day na nandyan, kung totoo ang allegation sa Presidente, we all suffer. The country suffers, our institution suffers, accountability suffers. Pero pag Vice President, especially ngayon, hindi naman siya binigyan ng ibang trabaho eh. Wala naman siya sa kabinete. Yes, I want accountability. Pero between today and Wednesday, I'd rather pass yung Konektadong Pinoy at saka yung e-government at lahat ng ibang bills na nakapending dyan. So, Mr. President, may I end by reiterating the question. Do we follow first the rules of the Senate or do we go into the impeachment court? Sino magde-decide nung allegations ng defense na na-violate ang Constitution sa one impeachment per year? The second is just to continue my observation, Mr. President. I agree with many here. Wala tayong choice, forthwith. But I disagree na sa Tagalog, agad-agad ang forthwith. Ang forthwith, yung ibig sabihin nun sa Tagalog is yan na yung susunod. Yan na yung gagawin mo. O, immediate yung agad-agad. Hindi ako expert sa linguistics, pero medyo hindi agad ang Tagalog ng forthwith. Yung immediately, yon agad yon or agad-agad, di ba? So, maya-maya, hindi, ibig sabihin ng forthwith, sangayon naman ako eh, ang ibig sabihin ng forthwith, wala ka ng, to quote dos por dos, susunod na. O yun ang ibig sabihin ng forthwith. Yung wala ka nang hihintayin, yun na. Kaya agree ako sa inyo na kailangan talakayin natin yung impeachment complaint. Pero gusto kong iklaro, sa tama o sa mali, botohan ng mangyayari sa atin. Hindi pwede pong bumoto yung 15 na hindi magko-convene yung impeachment. Tapos siyam kami o 8 tayong magpapakita doon na naka-rogue. Kasi sinabi ng 15, hindi magko-convene eh. Anong pwedeng gawin? Pupunta ka ng Supreme Court, uutusan tayo ngayon ng Supreme Court. Yun ang legal system natin, Mr. President. So sana tama desisyon natin para hindi na tayo maghintay na utusan pa tayo ng Supreme Court. Pero yung sabihin na walang botohan dito, I agree with the spirit nung sinasabi ni Senator Risa na dapat wala na. But the practical reality is that you have one senator who asked for a vote. We have to vote and the majority will follow. But yun nga, Mr. President, reiterate ko lang yung tanong ko. So dito po sa one-year rule, sino po magde-decide niya? Is it the Senate sitting as legislator, so rules muna ng Senate? Or is it the impeachment court? Because if it is the Senate, we cannot yet convene as an impeachment court because we haven't tackled that issue. But if it is the impeachment court, then we can go, and that's the first issue that we will have to tackle, whether it is a valid complaint. No? At tinatanong ko lawyers ko, hati din po eh. Sabi nung kalahati, hindi, dapat yung Senate kasi it's treated like any other legislative matter. Titinan muna natin kung tama yung pagka-transmit sa atin. Eh malay mo, transmit sa atin, na-hack pala, hindi pala galing sa House of Representatives. That might sound like a silly example, but it is. It is possible. That's why we have to look at it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Before